chat, what we're doing today, pretty much, I was kind of like confused because, as y'all know, I'm not a type of person that YouTube reacts often, so I was kind of like, what should I react to? Rahul Rai, bro, I'm not reacting to Rahul Rai. Why do you want us to cringe so bad? You know? Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Rahul Rai, please, bro, I literally reacted to him like a couple days ago. That dude is just cringing us out. You know what I'm saying? But then, yeah, nah, chill, listen, I was thinking, I'm gonna just let chat kind of decide what we should react to, because I kind of have no clue, like, what to actually, you know what I'm saying?
The Hershey's incident. On a Halloween night in 2011, a small home on Winchester Avenue in Chicago quickly became the scene of a nightmare. After trick-or-treating, a grown 55-year-old man fell into a fury with his partner after discovering that his bag of Hershey's candy was missing. He was convinced that the 49-year-old woman had taken it, and what started as a petty accusation—
My head hurts. My head hurts. Oh, my head is hurting. Oh, I got a headache.
Quickly escalated into a heated argument. The shouting grew louder and tempers boiled over. In desperation, and perhaps in an effort to also protect herself, the 49-year-old woman hurled a plate at the man's head, striking him in the face and cutting above his eye. The injury, later visible in the mugshot, only stoked his anger further. With dripping down his face, the man reached for a kitchen knife, and consumed by rage, he—
What is this art? What am I looking at? What is this fucking art?
He lashed out in a frenzy, striking the woman multiple times.
What am I watching?
Neighbors later recalled hearing chaos and screams echoing from inside the home. Unsure as to whether or not the noises were Halloween decorations, police were eventually dispatched to the area. When officers arrived, they found the woman gravely injured. She was rushed to Cook County Hospital, where she lingered in critical condition for nearly a week. Despite doctors' efforts, and she later passed on November 5th, felony charges. What had begun as a trivial Halloween quarrel between two adults
Bipolar as hell, girl. Damn.
ended in one of the most brutal of ways: costume malfunction. On October 31st, at a thriving Halloween carnival, a 51-year-old man would step into the bustling streets dressed in a costume of burlap and straw, eager to join the thousands celebrating beneath pulsing lights and music. But in a sudden, tragic turn, the man's night of festivity shifted into pure trauma. The man joined the crowd in an energetic dance, and in the midst of the excitement, he wanted to take a break and light a cigarette. In his attempt, the flame from his lighter caught the edge of his costume's hood, and in an instant, his entire outfit ignited. Due to its material, the costume was extremely easy to burn, but difficult to put out and take off. The man would try ripping the costume off of his body, but its contents had already begun melting into his skin. As for the crowd around him, they at first thought it was a prank or some sort of fire stunt woven into the Halloween event. It should be noted that most of them were heavily intoxicated.
Wait, Kat, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing more games tomorrow, I forgot.
So their rationality and judgment skills were extremely impaired at the time. As the blaze spread violently, it swallowed him
ready for a horror game segment tomorrow. We got good games lined up.
Whole like a torch. His figure staggered into the mass of dancers engulfed in fire, with his arms flailing in a desperate panic. People continued cheering. Individuals were so impressed by the stunt that they had begun to record the screaming victim. Only when the man's screams got louder than the music at the carnival did a few sober witnesses realize what was going on. They rushed in to help and tried to rip off the burning pants and jacket that were now clinging to his skin.
No, actually, no, his way of explaining things is so fucking weird. Like, the art that he, like, puts on to explain stuff is like, bro, it's like, dude, it doesn't even make, bro, it's like so, like, it's as if, like, he's mocking the people's deaths. I'm not even trolling. Like, he's making it so comedic to the point. Yo, people died, and he's making a story about it, and it's comedic. Like, what the fuck?
People took water bottles from their backpacks and emptied it onto the blaze, while others in the crowd continued chanting, snapping
Relax now. Relax. It's nowhere like EDP.
Pictures, and dancing to what they perceived as a stunt. When the flames finally calmed, he was barely recognizable. Despite being rushed to the hospital, the man ultimately passed away from his wounds.
I got a free gift for you. The Book
Fuck
of
your
Mormon.
kid!
Now, I know you've probably heard so many things about this book, but this book has changed my life.
A 23-year-old mother in Hong Kong would continue navigating her life in an environment tainted by hardship. She was an orphan as a child, and as she grew up, she became addicted to abusing substances and other things. She worked at a nightclub in one of Hong Kong's red light districts, Tsim Sha Tsui, where a 34-year-old mob boss frequently visited her for services. The gangster was known to be extremely dangerous.
You know what he looks like? Chat, y'all know what he looks like? He looks like this. Yeah, chat, this is what he looks like. What the fuck?
Services. The gangster was known to be extremely dangerous as he had a horrible temper and would often do cruel and unusual things to people who wronged him.
I mean, at least he's giving free pizza, right?
One day, after the two met with each other, the mobster would accidentally forget his wallet at the venue. Upon seeing that it contained 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, the woman would secretly steal it to help her own financial situation for herself and her son. The mob boss found out, and out of fear of what he'd do to her, she immediately returned the money back to him. However, he wasn't satisfied. He demanded that she pay an additional $10,000 back to him as an interest fee for her thievery. Obviously, she couldn't meet those requests. On a calm night, as the woman made her way into her apartment after her shift, she'd hear knocks at her door. It would be 3 members of the Triad gang and a young girl who claimed that they wanted to settle the dispute with a more reasonable fee. Also, side note, the young girl seen here is actually the mob boss's girlfriend. Remember how I said he's 34? Well, she's 20 years younger than that. Yeah. Anyway, and drove her to a rundown flat on Granville Road in Kowloon. It was there that her...
How old is the older guy? How old is... What the fuck?
Her captors beat her with pipes, suspended her in the air with wires, burned her with wax and plastic, and rubbed peppery spices into her wounds. Each day blurred into the next.
Yo, Clark, what the fuck you got me watching, bro?
It was a cycle of torment designed not only to punish her, but to strip away at her humanity. Neighbors heard nothing beyond the walls, but within them, suffering was routine. After nearly a month of agony, her body could no longer endure the mistreatment, and she would pass away from the monstrous acts of the gang. Upon realization, the mob boss had his men disposing of her remains in bags and pieces to clear themselves of any evidence. However, a grotesque and cruel twist, the boss would have her skull boiled clean, polished and preserved, and then stitched into...
Yo, bro, nah, I go lie, bro, yo, Clark, yo, bro, there is no way you recommended me this shit.
To his girlfriend's Hello Kitty plush. Actually, I don't really feel comfortable considering her his girlfriend. I mean, the man's quite literally old enough to be her father. But nonetheless, night after night, the young girl would be faced with the doll as she lived with the mob boss, and he kept it in the flat they were living in. She wouldn't be able to escape the sight of the toy, and as time went on, it began haunting her. She'd start seeing hallucinations and apparitions of the woman's ghost. The spirit would follow her every day, weeping dreadfully. It'd stand by the corner of her bed, staring at her every night, and if the girl ever fell asleep, it'd show up in her dreams as well, and turn them into nightmares. In her words, she said that it kept haunting her while demanding justice. It got so bad that the girl developed insomnia, and for weeks, she'd barely eat or sleep. Eventually, she broke. She ran to a nearby department, and reports from the Kowloon police station say that she turned up...
Wow, see, like, you know what I don't like about these niggas, bro? Like, yo, this some serious shit. This guy's making it a fucking, like, bro, why is he doing... Yo, bro, this guy is weird, bro. Because why is he, like, this is some serious topic, and he's actually, like... It's as if, like, he's adding... Bro, this gotta be fiction. There's no way. Because, bro, like, there's no way...
at the building, shaking violently. As mentioned from witnesses, rather than her saying that she has a crime she needs...
Begging for... Wait, what? He's begging for you to forgive him. Forgive who?
Needs to confess, the first words that left her mouth were something around the lines of, "I keep seeing her. I can't sleep. Please, she won't stop crying. She won't leave me alone." She was literally traumatized. The girl told police absolutely everything they needed to know, and officials set out to arrest everyone who was involved. The 3 men,
Have fun.
Actually, they don't really deserve to be called that. The 3 criminals were all sentenced to life in prison with a 20-year minimum before parole.
Yeah. Stay in fucking jail, weirdos. Stay in fucking jail.
The young girl was placed in protective custody, and after the trial, it was noted that she was seeing the ghost less. However, she'd still go on to experience nightmares and auditory hallucinations of the woman weeping. The last thing that was heard of her before she was relocated with an identity change was that she was being given psychological treatment and correctional therapy. These aren't just horror stories, they're real events. And they're all so wrong, in so many ways. Halloween is meant to be scary in a fun manner, not in a cruel way. To ensure that happens, make sure to group up, stay close to your friends, drink responsibly, and always check your candy twice. Take care of yourself and keep your loved ones safe.
The most painful motorcycle deaths ever, or do y'all want to watch the most painful deaths caught on live stream? What do y'all want to see? Motorcycle? After this, we're going to do a little bit of a yap, okay? I feel like I'm reacting for a little bit. If y'all want to react more, then we'll see. Okay. Y'all want to do the motorcycle one? Bet, I got you.
21. Away in Turkey, a young man deeply in love with his motorcycle woke up to a nice sunny day and decided that it was the best time to take his bike out for a spin. A nice leather jacket with protective boots, gloves, and a helmet was what this man quickly threw on before going out for the ride.
You're worse than I'm Dante. What do you mean? Wait, Dante? Wait, what do you mean I'm worse? How am I worse than him? He's good at reacting, no?
He decided that he didn't want to wear any of that since it's a hot summer day. But on the bright side, at least he decided to keep his helmet on, right? Or that he was wearing no protective gear at all. This rider would then take his sport bike for a nice calm ride of 120 miles per hour. After hitting the highways, the rider couldn't contain himself and began speeding as fast as possible on his bike. However, unbeknownst to him, a steep turn with a guardrail would appear on the highway out of nowhere. Unable to correct his path in time, he was flung from the bike and hurled face first into the corner of a steel guardrail. The impact was so violent that it completely removed the entire front of his head and face. His eyes, nose, jaw, and facial skin were instantly torn away, leaving only the back of his skull intact. Bystanders who arrived moments later could hardly process what they were seeing.
Like, bro, why are they smiling?
It looked less like an accident and more like a war zone. They searched for his body, and upon a glimpse, were instantly traumatized since it didn't really look like a human anymore. Bystanders did what they could, but unfortunately, he never had a chance. Emergency responders pronounced him unresponsive at the scene. This next situation falls just past midnight on April 1st, 2025, in Phuket, Thailand. The streets were mostly empty, the air was heavy, and it was the kind of night that felt slower than it actually was.
No, not for the reason you're thinking. Please, don't even do that, chat.
But not for one guy. This rider was flying down Bypass Road on a red and black Honda Forza. Probably just out for a ride, maybe trying to clear his head, maybe just pushing the throttle for the thrill of it. Whatever the reason, he was moving fast. Very fast. Then, in a split second, everything went wrong. He lost control of the bike, and with no time to correct and no time to react, he slammed straight into an electricity pole. The crash wasn't just bad, it was horrific. The impact...
You're actually trying to go Atlanta with me? I don't know.
The impact was so violent that it cut his body in half. His upper half was found under the pole. His lower half? Thrown almost 200...
Yeah, I go a lot. Nah, they would not. Yo, I'm gonna keep it about. Yo, this nigga. Yo, bro, why he doing? Yo, nah, I go a lot, chat. Why the fuck does he got Gojo on the streets, bro? Bro, why does this nigga got? Bro, why does nigga try to say he's Gojo, bro? He doing bro. That's what I'm saying. He's taking a piss. He's taking a piss, bro.
Feet down the road. His heart and organs were scattered across the scene, and somehow his helmet was still on. But it didn't save him. Not from that. They later confirmed he was a Russian national. They never released his name and just let his story be another brutal reminder of how unforgiving speed can be. You always think it won't happen to you, until it does. The haircut incident.
See, he just gave me Mahmoud PTSD, chat. He just reminded me of my one old barber. See, PTSD all the way. PTSD
In
coming
Manacapuru,
bro.
Brazil, a small riverside town that doesn't usually make international headlines would go viral for once, but for all the wrong reasons. A man was riding his motorcycle through the city streets, and from the looks of it, he wasn't really going slow. While another biker was trying to make a left turn, the man unknowingly would get into a head-on collision with him, and the crash would be so forceful that it would launch him right off of his bike, straight onto his head. And surprisingly, the accident wasn't too detrimental. He only suffered a couple of cuts and sprains to his body. That's what I would say if he was wearing a helmet, but once again, this rider decided to ride without one. So, instead, when he crashed and landed on his head, the force of the impact was so intense that it ripped the skin right off his scalp. It wasn't just a cut or a gash. His scalp was completely peeled back, exposing raw bone. And when I say raw bone, I literally mean that his skull, muscle, and the whole horrifying anatomy of a human head were exposed to the world.
See? He's taking a piss. I swear to God. Yo, if you watch JJK, you fucking know he's taking a piss, bro.
A lot of people were confused by the bizarre nature of the accident and couldn't really understand how it could happen to a person. But, horrifyingly enough, it happens a lot. The injury is called degloving. Imagine the skin on your body being torn off like a glove. Probably not the best thing to imagine, but that's what doctors describe it as, and that's what happened to this man. The fire truck incident. On the 15 freeway in Rancho Cucamonga, California,
Drex, see you later. Much love. This too much for me. Durham. Yep, you're right. We got like 4 more minutes left. We're not gonna react.
Routine night drive turned into a deadly inferno.
I generally can't watch this shit. It's kind of like, yo, samurai, bro. Yo, bro. I'm not good with his knee. But Chad, do we just like scrap this shit? Do we just scrap it and stop watching this? It's low-key too much. Yeah, yep. I think that's a good idea. No, watch it. Yo, y'all wanna watch that? Y'all wanna watch it? Keep watching. Halfway through.
And it all started with a motorcyclist and a semi-truck. The exact reason isn't clear. No one knows if the biker swerved, miscalculated, or just didn't see the truck coming. But what we do know is that he collided with the big rig at freeway speed, which is anywhere from 65 to 85 miles per hour, and the impact was devastating. As if smashing into a semi-truck on a motorcycle isn't already bad enough, the biker would be trapped underneath the vehicle while its diesel leaked out of its fuel tank. And unfortunately for him, the sparks from the accident would light both his motorcycle and the 30,000-pound semi-truck up in a blaze. The truck driver was quick enough to escape, but once again, since the biker was trapped, he was engulfed in what would be known as one of the biggest fires the freeway had seen in years. This fire was so big that it took 3 fire engines to try to control the blaze, and the highway was shut down for hours. In Thailand, sometime around 2019,
nightmare fuel. This niggas keep going.
On a highway just outside of Bangkok, where traffic moves fast and helmet laws are, let's say, loosely followed, a guy, once again, not wearing a helmet, was riding his motorcycle at a high rate of speed, zooming.
Please, for the love of God, animator, have some mercy on this nigga, yo.
In and out of traffic. While going down the road, his bike would randomly hit a pothole, and his attempt to avoid it would be where things went horribly wrong. He swerved and got launched off his bike so forcefully that it'd throw him airborne and he'd go flying for a few seconds. Which actually sounds kind of fun, because bouncing and flying around in a controlled area is usually a fun experience. Whether you've gone bungee jumping, skydiving, or have randomly experienced flying in your dreams, just not when you go flying headfirst into a road sign, which is what happened to this guy. He was flung so hard at the road sign that it perfectly decapitated his head and left his body continuing on with its momentum. And disturbingly, his head actually hit the sign so hard that it became stuck to it. Sadly, he passed away. The paper incident. In late 2015,
Yo, this animator is fucking crazy, bro. That is disgusting. Oh my God, I don't even want to see that, bro. I'm actually getting scared now too. Alright, chat. 1 minute 30 minutes. Chat. 1 minute 30 seconds. Please, chat. Bear with me, bro.
Motorcyclist in Shenzhen, or Guangzhou, a busy Chinese city, was on his way to work when he stumbled across heavy traffic and a very large cement mixing truck on the road. As is common in densely populated urban cities, he began lane splitting in between traffic to get through the cars. Funnily enough, This is actually a good thing for most bikers to do, as lane splitting lessens congested traffic and heavily reduces the risk of motorcycles getting rear-ended by cars that don't see them. So this rider gets a gold star for practicing smart riding. Ironically, however, when the light turned green, he accidentally dropped his bike and fell off of it.
I'm not showing that. Yo, I'm skipping this part. I'm skipping this part. I go, no. You got me wild. You got me wilding. You got me wilding, bro. No. Oh my, nah. Yeah, we're not. Yeah. What up? Nah. You want to see, bro? It's Loki getting kind of fucked. I don't know. Let me see it. I don't want to see it. Chat. If y'all okay, but if people don't want to see this, close your eyes, because I'm about to close mine too.
Right in front of that ginormous cement mixing truck I mentioned earlier. Panic exploded out from bystanders, and they would all try to get the trucker to stop driving, but by the time he had even noticed he rode over anything, it was already too late. All 12 wheels, he was effectively flattened into the road's pavement. Witnesses and first responders described his body as being no thicker than a sheet of paper on the road. City sanitation workers.
Bro. Oh my god, bro. Yep. Now we fucking know a talking hat. You are a talking fucking psychopath. How about that, you talking psychopath? Let's start it with that, because your fucking drawings are outrageous, bro. But nah, chat, I'm not gonna lie. W fucking stream. I love y'all niggas so much, you know what I'm saying? I had fun.